Alright folks, the deck is Reno Frost Death Knight. The goal of the deck is to get a bunch of spells in hand, copy them with Lady Deathwhisper, reduce their cost with Rimefang Sword, and Emperor Thaurissan so that we can send them in our opponent's face until their hero explodes. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Roffle or here on YouTube. Hey, welcome, Josh.
Well met.
Keep up the great work and thanks for the daily content.
I appreciate that, SWX. Thank you for the 8 months. Welcome, Barware. Alright, we got an anomaly. And, seems okay.
You will know pain.
Not a great hand. And we might have a lot of armor to get through against Even Warrior. But we'll do our best. Bonk.
Job's done.
Yeah, we're currently hacking Hearthstone and have 4 runes in our deck, so don't tell Blizzard. Let's just do this.
Well met.
Hey Roffle, happy hacking.
Shh. Thank you, Go Hogs. Appreciate the 2 months.
No return.
Oh man, if I'd known I was gonna hit that, I would have grabbed the horn.
No return. Job's done.
Alright, I probably do need to start getting some corpses spent. Or generated, rather. Bonk. Remember when they, like, preemptively nerfed this card for... a format that was far beyond what it was going to do. That said, Ogre. Welcome, Bopo. I mean, getting 6 damage out of that is pretty good as it is. I'll take it. Okay. Would like to get some more spells in hand. So... here?
No return.
Welcome, Jams. Utter, hello. How's it going, Onu? 6 is Trial by Fire, I think, so I probably want to hang on to this. Kind of like this hand. But maybe not enough to hang on to it.
We're gonna be rich.
I do say, I seem to have lost the surface.
Okay, not bad. The play that they want to be able to make here is just like slam an Odin, so kind of just okay with anything that isn't that. I really need something good off of the Primus here. Which is kind of asking a lot. It's gotta be basically just like Howling Blast.
Frost, mark of the bitter.
Brutal. Oh, I am in danger.
No return.
Probably not a great matchup to begin with, but I don't know, the Primus is kind of ambitious already. Yeah, welcome, Saga. On the bright side, at least they haven't had the Odin yet. Emphasis on the yet. Ooh, wait. The value trades actually solve this.
My frost will splinter your flesh.
No return. Job's done.
That said, I do have a long ways to go to get to, like, the Deathwhisper, so I think she's just kind of out of the picture at this point. Glad to see they banned Tony and Wild. I'm not. It's an interesting card outside of one deck, and it's a bummer that everything gets punished for the sins of that one card. Do we have a way to freeze opponent's face here? Just minions? Oh, we're probably going to die.
Well met.
Long-time YouTube viewer, glad I could finally catch some streams. Also, do you think that the nerfs have helped out the wild metagame well besides all the bots?
There is a command for that, but thank you, King D. Appreciate the kind words, and thank you for the 3 months of support. I really wanted to find a way to get a Loatheb in there, but like I couldn't get a Loatheb in there while taking the 8 damage off the board from the Odin, so. Yeah. It's always one deck that abuses a card that's not a problem anywhere else. I mean, yeah, and I would. My position is that, like, the problem isn't necessarily that one card in Tony. It's kind of a lot of the things around it, right? Like if they had done something more aggressive with Auctioneer, or even something like Naturalize, there would be no risk of Tony Druid.
The Lich King versus
I'm gonna be honest, Blob. I don't even know how to pin messages on PC, so we're both. Oh wait, here we go. All right. Probably need something a little bit earlier in the curve than this. Not exactly what I was looking for, but okay. Obviously, that's a triple Yogg. What else could it be? Is this ever worth a coin? Probably not. Smart to pin that and get ahead of the questions. I mean, the questions will still happen. That's inevitable.
Can't stand the cold.
But welcome, wind chill factor. Try and get ahead of at least some of them. So glad Jiraxis goes into every Warlock deck now. Yeah, that's what happens. That would be nice, though.
The more you struggle, the better.
This is a lot of frost spells. Where is my Ice Revenant? Jiraxis out of Zeph is now more likely. Yeah, I think Zeph is maybe one of the big winners of these buffs. Like, he's also very much in love with Tyrion already. And so now Tyrion is, it's more common. Twist has been so fun this morning. Yeah, we'll be playing some Twist soon, I'm sure. Alright, I do have an answer to that. Because I don't want to allow them any healing. We just go here, coin, horn. Probably coin first.
My frost will splinter your flesh.
And we howl. And keep going face. Next turn we have the Fury. Welcome, Firebird.
This is our chance.
Plans for Twist Mech Mage. Not really. Kind of sounds boring. But maybe at some point. We can just shove a Loatheb and attack that, I guess, since they did a mean play. By mean, I mean totally reasonable. It just ruined my plan. Oh, also you get to play Mech Warper, though? I guess that's fair. Not that I have a strong desire to play Mech Warper. I will miss a Mech Warper. I will not.
The end is close.
Let's actually go for minion damage here where we can. Jeez, that is so much damage. And then we just go ahead and freeze the face. This way, if they do have like a bunch of healing, or another deal with the devil, with a bunch of healing, we can lock it down with the Froststorm's Fury. I like this opponent's style.
I am all around you.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yogg is safe. Oh, wait. That's kind of bad. For me. Can I get this down? And this down. Doesn't look like it. Okay. I was just playing around the evasion there, which it wasn't evasion, so. Very cool. The deck actually drew spells this game. That helped a lot. Seems like it can do a lot of damage when it actually draws some spells. Hey, welcome, Joe. This deck looks cool. Is that an intentional pun? If so, well done.
The Lich King!
Oh my god, I don't have to, like, feel immense pain when I see a Warlock against me.
Will know pain.
Well, I do know pain, because I've queued into a lot of disco locks. There's a decent chance it's still just, like, somebody playing disco, because the deck's probably still good, so let's keep the Frost Strike in case. I don't understand the change of Symphony. Getting Sargeras down as early as the deck was is a problem, especially in Standard.
You are not the boss of
I was correct in my read. I'm just gonna trust that my deck draws something next turn. You think the location is probably still top 5 even with the double nerf? Top 5 what? Top 5 cards in Disco Lock? I think it's very possibly top 1 cards in Disco Lock.
No, don't. It's still good.
What are you... What? Alright. Let's take a gamble here, because we've got some battle cries in hand. They just have -1 card in their hand now, for a reason that I'm not sure about.
We do what the living cannot. Your history.
Make them take this trade. I miss Frog Shaman already. Not gonna get any sympathy from me, sorry. Get that nonsense out of here.
You are not the boss of me. Me, take work. Small in size, huge in evil.
By the Ebon Blade!
Normally I would probably play the Finley here, but I think I need the Reno. But I may send the Primus back. I told you I'd need that Reno. 7 mana Shadow doesn't change anything a lot. There's a frequent rule in Hearthstone nerfs, and it's that people consistently underrate the impact of a mana or stat nerf. So it's not the change that I would have made for the card, but it definitely is significant, and also Big Priest is a deck that really, really, really sucks. So I don't think that spending a lot of time to solve a problem that doesn't exist is necessary, or a good use of the team's time. I think it's nice to see, because like a large portion of the player base was asking for it, but it's not necessary, because, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the deck really, really, really sucks. And has really, really, really sucked for a really, really, really long time. And it will continue to really, really, really suck after the nerf.
Versus Zephrys. My crusade begins. You know pain.
Seems tempted to keep together. I just kind of want to get a good Lady Deathwhisper turn.
No.
Big Priest is just good versus Secret Mage. Like, tier 4 already, I don't know why it got hit. I think it got hit because of the play pattern that a lot of the player base does not enjoy playing against. Which is a valid reason. I don't think we need to nerf everything just for high legend play. But I also don't think we need to spend a lot of like mental effort on how to nerf a deck that is not good. Didn't they explain why in the dev comment? I don't know, I didn't read because I don't know how to.
Where were you when they nerfed Discolor? I was just about to steal some oversized rims when the owner of the car said, "Alright folks, Roffle here, they nerfed Discolor." And I was so shocked that I just ran away. I will never hit Platinum 10 again without Discolor. This is a sad day.
It is a sad day. Very, very sad. I'm sorry for your loss, Janae. I hope that you're able to recover in these difficult times. I don't know what this deck is. Okay, yeah, it's Reno, just still running Chamber because that card is good.
We do what the living cannot.
Which says a lot about how strong it was before the nerf, right? Disco Lock? Yeah, we hear all about Disco Lock, discard. What about that card and that one?
We do what the living cannot.
Really makes you think.
Of the arcane enlightens us. Well met.
Icy Touch.
Andrew, thank you for the 15 months. Appreciate that.
And exalt in your pure form.
Well met.
I can see that Sargeras is looking thick as always.
I mean, not as thick as he used to be, or at least not as cheap as he used to be. Thank you, Smooth.
I see.
It's fine.
My frost will splinter your flesh. Transcend and serve. You shall freeze over.
Look, we don't get great value off of this because of the Loatheb, and we do burn a card, which is chat's least favorite thing in the world. But, we potentially get a very strong Ice Revenant coming up. And it's gone.
Gotcha!
We don't quite have lethal, so probably don't want to spend the rest of my mana here. Now we don't burn a card? Yeah. Problem solved. Okay, that could have gone worse for me.
I'm 7 moves ahead of
Just lead with the horn. Hero.
you. Predictable.
Sure. We did it! Gotta tell you, after 4 games, Wild is definitely saved. Clearly, that is a large enough sample to make that determination. Tony Druid banned Tony. Oh, never mind. Wild is destroyed.
Watch your back.
Turn 1 Rig Fair Game is also gone? Yeah, that's a pretty big deal, but also Secret Mage is kind of a bad deck as well. Look, we can beat Pirate Rogue, but I'm probably just going to concede to bots today. I don't have time for that. Mind Rogue is going to be rough to see more of, and Miracle, yeah. Yeah, and Questline Druid. That is the typical bot curve. Especially facing down a face-up solution to that problem. That is not something a human would do there. So, no need to waste my time there. Hey, welcome, Polly. How are you doing today? So, for those of you that, for some reason, want to play Pirate Rogue, like, there's an argument for a coin cannon play in that situation, depending on what your hand looks like, but if there is a coin cannon, it's coin cannon on 2 followed by a 1-mana pirate, and then you get a lot of burst damage off of it. So, don't do what that opponent just did. Do a play that makes sense. If Frog is at 5, does Frog Shaman go back to tutoring Meat Wagon? I don't think it ever wanted to do that. I really should keep for aggro, but I'm just going to trust that it's not aggro. And I'm going to be greedy. I was too greedy. Yeah. Yeah, I've goofed. It honestly might be a coin attack. Ugh. At least we know they have the patches in hand. The 4 runes is a deck tracker bug. It hasn't been updated yet to include new Sindragosa. And we have no answer to that next turn, so I better forge this.
Job's done.
Because that is the priority, and it needs to die. It no longer dies. I am going to die. Set the wire. I'm probably going to die. Just not yet. The funny thing is, Sindragosa is probably just a bad card in the deck anyway, but figured people would throw a tantrum if she wasn't included after she got changed recently.
Come, pray with me.
Pirates away! Too much power!
That didn't seem correct. Gotta get those clicks somehow. I mean, she's not even gonna be played to the point where I can't even use her in the thumbnail. So it's really just to save me some chat interactions. Is the entire motivation behind Sindragosa.
Come, pray with me.
It's a good time to draw that.
Wish is my suggestion.
And that said, they probably do have 2 Mind Blasts in hand, and we're dead anyway, so. No, that's not. Well, that's probably another Mind Blast.
Well met.
That's a Mind
I am the
Blast.
one who sucks.
Thank you, Dur. I appreciate that. This will allow me to get the Primus down and maybe heal for a little bit, but we're just dead, right? This is Mind Blast, they hero power and kill me. GG. Yeah, very predictable. I just made a greedy keep. I knew it was greedy. I said it was greedy. I chose to do it anyway. We just assume that Priest is probably aggro for a bit.
The Lich King.
I wonder what this deck could be. As we talked about this, in my experience, this hero portrait in Even Shaman is always a bot, or has always been a bot in the past, so if it's Even Shaman, we probably concede.
We have turned our curse.
I don't understand them not touching Even Shaman. How would you nerf Even Shaman? There's not a single, other than the closest you have to a single outlier in Even Shaman is Carving Chisel. Aside from that, you just have like 30 highly synergistic cards. So, how do you solve that?
The Lich King versus Magni. For Cosmodon!
You will know pain.
Alright, I need to accumulate a lot of burst in this matchup, and it's probably going to be difficult to do. Make the spell totem have one less health, maybe. That's a great idea. The problem is there is no spell totem.
Into our strength.
Oh there.
Great, your eternal torment. Your wish is my suggestion.
Do you have this in a bigger size?
They're gonna make that trade. I don't have any way around it.
Do you have this in a bigger
Jeez.
size?
Well, opponent kind of hit the nuts. Yeah, you get frozen. And immediately removed. Nerd. I only have a turn for next turn other than this and a hero power, so might as well. Even Shaman isn't an issue right now, it's Disco Lock. Okay. If you say so.
I see.
I've heard some astounding reports that, like, Starfish in this deck was actually performing quite well. I refuse to believe it, though. So everybody point and laugh at the opponent instead. Alright, don't let me down this time, Primus.
The runes decide your fate. Frost, mark of the bitter.
Why must you always disappoint me? Alright, well, we gotta hold until next turn so that we can play this. This is a brutal matchup for me, which is unfortunate because this deck is very good. This is dumb and pointless.
Well met.
Hey Roffle, great bits.
That's not right.
I appreciate that, DJ. I'm still dead here. We just get to pretend like we had a chance this whole matchup. Thank you, though, for the 2 months, DJ. Good deck remains good. Yeah, I think people consistently underrate the Hunter Titan.
Let the hunt begin. You will know pain.
It's good before sanitized, so it should remain good, right? Yeah, I mean, it did lose well, it probably lost a lot of popularity in one of its best matchups in Disco Lock, but, like, the deck is still good. It was good before Disco Lock even popped up, and it was good before sanitized, so it's going to remain very good. Sanitize now an Odd Warrior. It simply does not matter. Odd Warrior is not a deck. Sanitize is now a great slot for ETC. Yeah, but then you're running ETC.
Gotta keep them tuned.
Do I need to kill that? I'm going to. Looks like Face Hunter.
To my side.
They have bananas, that thing becomes a nuisance? Yeah, that was what was on my mind.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
This is an unfortunate turn for me. Yeah, Holy Smite is an awkward one with Zeph sometimes, so
I got 2 shots just for you.
very happy that it didn't backfire on me. They're jamming. Happy that I set this up for a turn. Or, what if we didn't do that? Instead did this. And then we can freeze whatever comes out of that when it eventually gets played.
I got 2 shots just for you. Gotta keep them tuned.
Collateral damage is 8 mana, right? Am I dead here? Okay, we're fine. We do have lethal set up if this is allowed to attack face. It is not going to get to attack face. Wait, they didn't play a Naga this turn. Welcome, Kyra. Oh, hey, we're halfway to the golden hero power.
The Lich King versus Anduin.
Okay, this actually is kind of nutty for me.
The light shall bring victory.
Alright, I'm not going to fall for the same bait as before. I'm going to keep removal in case it's aggro. I've learned my lesson. Of course.
My power is as infinite
Oh.
as the star.
Okay, well that's a bit of a problem. I probably can't afford to make the mana efficient play here, right? Just do this. need the damage efficient line. But this is very bad news. Gotta hold the Zeph. Just as a solution to either one or many big automatons. Speaking of big, the tracker shows a blood room because I'm cheating. Just curious if you'll go over your thoughts on the State of Wild podcast with the nerfs and buffs. Nah, we're not going to talk about it. We've agreed to a vow of silence. Bonk! We have lethal next turn with Zeph into Wind Fury, assuming this doesn't get removed. Got removed. At least it was by a card that did not start in their deck. Yeah, it's probably a good roll bag.
My power is as infinite as the stars. My frost will splinter your flesh.
It's a decent response to a board full of tomatoes.
My power is as infinite as the stars. My power is as infinite as the stars.
That's quite annoying. I have not seen that card included before. They've got one more in hand, so let's see if we can get one more out of them. Or just set up lethal with the Zeph into Wind Fury. That works as well. The punish is Mass Hysteria, but like that would be an insane card to run in this deck.
I suggest.
Second minion in that deck, Ziliax. They're sometimes in a Monthul, I think, but I don't. There's no reason to run Ziliax in the deck. That would be pretty silly. I mean, they were running Apotheosis though, so. But Apotheosis makes a lot more sense than Ziliax.
The Lich King versus Scarlet.
Let the blight begin.
You will know pain.
Let's keep a greedy Thaurissan.
Death Knight beats to chill and relax too.
Thank you, Hydras.
Come, be my
Appreciate the bits.
Great, your eternal torment.
Plague.
Can't stand the cold.
Oh, the mirror match. Spider-Man pointing me.
A savage.
Can't stand the cold.
Wasn't Thaurissan a 5/5? I don't see a reason for the nerf by the TBH. He wasn't nerfed, he was buffed.
The more you struggle, the better.
Probably just go ahead and Frost Strike that. Maybe we can get a Thaurissan down next turn.
I see.
Very nice.
By the power of Rise! No return! Job done.
Got the Brann Reno combo set up. Do you hate play mirror? No. I mean, some mirrors are less fun than others. Certain mirrors are more skill-testing than others, but...
Render your flesh.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
We do what the living cannot. Rise! No return!
Start here. This. That's a big one.
The rules.
The punish. Oh, that's a lot of health.
Remnants of life. Your wish is my suggestion. I've got the beast in my sight.
Oh, that's devastating. Because now, if it is like the true mirror, because so far, card for card, they've played everything that's in this list. If it is the true mirror, the Reno is destroying me. It looks like Reno's coming down this turn too. No.
We do what the living cannot.
It's 8. Oh my god, I'm just short, right? This turns 3 corpses. This is not... I'm 1 damage off. Wait, it's 5. No, I can't count. Why did I think it was 1 for 1? It's 5 corpses. I just forgot how the card works. I could play both of them.
You're good, sir.
That's a certified Roffle moment.
The Lich King versus Rokara.
Actually doing reasonably well when we've not queued into Warrior.
You will know pain.
Unfortunately, we've made the mistake of queuing into Warrior again. Yeah, welcome, Miguel.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
How you say? That seemed to have lost
Nah. That hand didn't feel that great. Well, this could give me a health buffer at least. So I don't die on turn 9 and instead die on turn 10. Beautiful.
You simply lack perspective.
Maybe they won't hit the absolute nuts this time. I wouldn't count on it. The deck is quite consistent. Maybe, though, they'll only hit one of the armors instead of both of them.
You simply lack perspective.
That would be something. Maybe they'll even hit 0. I'm leaning towards the Thaurissan next turn. Okay, coin hero power gamer. It's just to get a card out of hand, obviously, but...
You simply lack perspective.
Alright. Let's go ahead and give them the Thaurissan. You're welcome, robot.
The loss will be mourned and used. Never forgotten. The more you struggle, the better. Never forgotten. No return.
Miss out on a little bit of value here, but I think we get enough that it's worth. I'd rather spread my value out here. Good enough turn there. You're welcome, Aborm. It's fine.
The rules decide your fate.
Never forget.
Frost, mark of the bitter. I see
Okay. Yeah, we talked earlier about how Starfish has been overperforming in Even Warrior. Dirty Rat is very much underperforming. It does not appear to be a good card in the deck. Shocked right now.
unholy, symbol of death.
Arise and exalt in your pure form.
It's not like they can run Brawl. They do have a decent Blade Storm here. Oh god. Are you kidding me? If there's a Brawl in there, okay. That's also pretty bad. Blade Storm. Okay. It's a lot of technology.
He's a symbol of life. Serve the Primus!
Just get the Dramicus now?
Your wish is my suggestion. You face Jaraxxus, Eridon Lord of the Burning Legion.
Honk.
Amuse me with your tales of victory.
Why do they always have the Odin so quickly? How much damage is this?
How shall I destroy you?
12, 24. We're a little bit short. Two off. Oh, 16.
I wonder.
Plus 12 is 28. That's dangerous. I think the best play is just here. Hero power, go face. If I clear the board and just play this, I leave myself really, really weak to a Blade Storm. Dead. That is just a absolutely abysmal matchup. And unfortunately, that was like the best match we had. But I don't think they've not had Odin in the top like 10 cards of their deck in any game I've played against them. It's pretty unreal how well they've drawn.
The Lich King versus Valir.
Stay in the shadows.
You will know pain.
Renethal.
I see you brought guests.
Alright, what Rouge deck wants Renethal? Still not a clue. Morgul? Odin always dodges Rat for some reason? Well, it's probably the high density of minions that the deck runs.
Choose soon.
I think that probably has something to do with it. It's just like Rat isn't really a reliable solution to Odin is probably the thing. Need a Rat that only pulls the biggest minion from hand, clearly. I mean, sure, that'll punish my turn 2 Dirty Rat opponents even harder when they just blindly rip it without any thought to what archetype I'm playing or what is in their hand. Morgul. Draw. Icy Touch was tempting just because, like, Spectral Cutlass is going to farm me, but I've got a Zeph in my deck at least. It's annoying. They're my cards, and I want them now. Minions, I guess, specifically.
Blightboard is killing it!
Didn't even get the finale off. SMH my head. Alright, let's punish them for that. Good target for that. I do kind of want to find the Lady Deathwhisper if I can. Just because she complements like the cost reduction quite well. Could have damaged your hand with Finale? That's what I'm saying, like, huge missed opportunity. I would never make a mistake like that, personally. I make much larger mistakes instead. Okay, so they're definitely running Coat. This.
Who knows what secrets will up? The loss will be more than used.
Okay. They kill the Brann here, but this still gets the Marrow Jar online. So what we want to do is set up the Marrow Jar. Or Marrow Manipulator. Marrow Jar is the legendary. We set up the Manipulator into Howling Blast to freeze their face so that they can't Cutlass us. No way you're... Okay. Ooh. I was concerned for the opponent there for a moment. Yeah. It's a very, very easy setup for me, as long as I don't have additional healing or something. Should be able to... Wait, do we just win instead? I don't know how to count damage, so I'm gonna assume we don't. Oh, we do, right? This into this. Fine. Oh, hey, there's Cindy. God, she's been performing so well in this deck. I'm glad you're liking the content, Lost Lights.
The Lich King versus Hamul.
Death is nature's way. You will know pain.
I just like keeping these together because I like making big, funny, frosty man. Has the bot population been? I'll let you know after this game. But generally quite low compared to previous weeks. I would expect that to be potentially a temporary... Yeah, this is a bot. I expect that's a temporary response to people coming back because changes were just made. And so there's a higher, like, actual player population. But this opponent is a bot. This hero portrait and the Ropian before the mulligan is indicative of the aggro druid bot. Here comes a turn 1 Trog. Either way, this is a miserable experience as both a player and a viewer, so we're gonna move on. That said, I think that is maybe, we did 1 Pirate Rogue, 1 Even Shaman, and I think that's the 3rd bot of the stream, so like, in general, bot population way down. That is, at times, this very week, at this point in the stream, I've faced that many humans in an hour and a half, and now, like, it's completely flipped.
Give me strength.
Yeah, welcome, Star.
Will know pain.
0 mana Finley? What could beat that? That is the right anomaly, right? First minion. Glad things are going better for the bots for now. Yeah, to be clear, I still do think it is very much a temporary thing, but I'll take it. If this is Big Priest, they might as well just hardcast their minions from hand with this anomaly after the nerf.
We do.
Uh-oh. I may have spoken too soon. This is the first time I've drawn the weapon in no spells. I've got not a super high density of spells in the deck, but one would expect that to happen eventually. I think we just gotta keep going face here, right? Probably should have been doing so from the beginning. This reduces it by 2. So Shadow Essence is live. Okay, this is finally active.
The more you struggle, the better.
I mean, this is always going one place, right? Wait. Sindragosa actually providing some What is this? Are you out of your mind?
Can you feel the cold hand of death upon your heart?
No return.
What is that nonsense? Yeah, I'm going to lose... Wait, what? Why wouldn't you pick the good one? That beats me.
The runes decide your fate. Blood, remnants of life.
I've been burned so many times by my attempts at frost spells, I'm not even going to go for it this time around. Just, he's been brutal when we've chosen the Runes of Frost. I'll do it again! This is probably a good draw first situation, so that we can see what, it's going to be kind of nutty with the +3 spell damage. I think this is the better situation where you just...
Mark of the bitter.
Wait, should that have gone face? It did 6... No. Roffle, your plays are perfect and everyone loves you. I just lost... to Moarg Forge Fiend in the Overlord 2023. Absolutely devastating.
Can you feel the cold hand of death upon your heart?
Should have done this sooner in the turn.
Unholy.
But I'm so tilted
Symbol
right now.
of death.
Wait.
Little time.
Okay. I don't know how I get through those, but...
It's a symptom of life.
Could have gotten worse for me. Stop.
Job's done.
Crushed beneath the endless tide.
Don't hit the crossroom sphere. That is a singular worst draw in my deck. That is the only card that completely and utterly devastates my game plan here and just cost me the game. That is unfathomably unlucky. My god. I cannot believe that. I had to do it in that order too, otherwise this didn't freeze the Neptulon. Just a cool 1 in 11.
Can you feel the cold hand of death upon your heart?
Is it because it was the last spell from your deck? Yes. Oh, good lord, there's somebody complaining about Big Priest. Right. After the nerf. Okay, that's silly. I don't know if I should be going pace or minions here. I don't know. I just lost this game to a horrendously bad draw. Okay. It's also a horrendously bad draw here. I sincerely don't know how I win from this spot. Other than finding Zeph, maybe? It's just gotta be Zeph off the top. Or I can't even Spinley into Zeph anymore because of the stupid navigations. It is very difficult for me to find a world where I get less lucky than I have this game. Never mind queuing into an opponent for God knows what reason running the Moarg Forge Fiend to begin with. This is unreal. This is just ludicrous.
A citadel stands strong.
And I don't have enough mana for it. That's...
All right, must end.
I cannot comprehend how that is possible. Oh my god. Everything possible went wrong for me that game. Against just a ludicrously constructed deck.
The Lich King versus Cthulhu.
My dreaming ends. Your nightmare begins.
You will
Alright, I think we assume it's questline, which means we just need early pressure. Yeah, it's definitely questline, right? It's an okay hand for it. At least wild is safe. If your take from the previous game is an issue of balance, then you're deranged. Sorry. Me losing that game had absolutely nothing to do with balance. I'm just going to coin the Thassarian here. There's a command for more details about my patch notes thoughts.
We do what the living cannot.
Well met.
Bart, thank you for the prime. What do I get off of Zeph here? Nothing.
Can't stand the cold.
Job done.
And then we just slam a Loatheb next turn. And hope that allows us to survive. If we're healing off of Zeph, we're losing the game. Is what it comes down to.
You cannot crack my carapace.
So I don't think that, yeah, I think we're just losing this game no matter what we do.
All right, must end.
The good decks are still going to beat the not good decks. Things are meta for a reason. And things are off meta for a reason.
The Lich King versus Scarlet.
Interesting.
Let the blight begin.
You will know pain.
Alright, keep the Zeph. It's probably low risk into this particular anomaly. Although, Loatheb is a bit of a problem.
I see you've brought.
You're welcome, Illusion. Alright. Now, I was told by my YouTube comments that, let me make sure I get this right. Plague is about to take over the meta after the next balance patch. So, I'm sure that will be very true here. It does kind of, make my life a little bit more difficult. Just because it's bad with Frigidara. It's obviously bad with Zeph and Reno. It's just, like, not good into my deck. But we can quickly get a wild growth here. Thank you. I've been doing Plague, and the only thing it's been doing is bringing my win rate down, but it's fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't think marginally changing one card for the deck is going to do anything in either format. Okay, so Reno effects are offline. Let's just do this. It's no wild growth, but...
Can't stand the cold.
Alakazam! No return!
Job done.
Problem is, this could... No, this... They don't have the Frost tag. So we're fine.
Plagues represent infinite damage. And if math nerds are right, that is more damage than the turn 4 OTK decks. Don't you feel silly now?
I sure do. I've been proven so very wrong. I feel so ashamed. Thank you, Justice Creator.
Do you think the immune system of a child from the Victorian era can handle a beefy 5-layer burrito from Taco Bell?
Taco Bell. I don't think a modern immune system can handle that, to be clear.
This realm of death is filled with the citadel.
So probably not. Nice. But thank you, Janae. Wait, I just realized they're running blood, so they're able to be rainbow now because of the buffs. Clearly that changes everything.
Can you feel the cold hand of death upon your heart?
I there is enough blood.
They're not Reno, though. Not that I expected them to be, but I also didn't really expect them to be rainbow. This wild growth is just so good right now. Keep waiting for the day DK gets a dragon package and Sindragosa shines in it. I think you might be waiting a long time. Oh, don't you dare. What an absolute monster. Do I want the Frost Plague here? Probably not.
And exalt in your pure form.
No, the plagues being shuffled into the deck have nothing to do with the deck tracker. It's just been like 2 hours since the expansion, so, or the update, so they aren't updated. Oh yeah. All that work. I gotta tell you, I don't think plagues are gonna take over the meta.